said, you know, get yourself together because I was here and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And my doorbell rang and someone who is working on in my kitchen came and there were like four people in my house all of a sudden. I'm like, listen, I have this program. I can't do this right now. So I was scrambling trying to get that out of the way so I could come back on. And then I'm like, all right, I'm ready, but what does my face look like? And I'm like, oh, you know what, we're good. So I literally just went on and I'm like, my face was just looking a little bit dry and I did my rose water spritz and I'm like, okay, I'm good to go now. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do anything else. But it's all good. So welcome. And it's spring on the calendar. I know I know I think someone did not give Mother Nature the message. I can't stand Pat right now walking outside sleeveless. Yeah, right. So just like Glenda, yeah, she's just rubbing it in. But that's okay. It's coming. I was so excited when I looked at the weather report. When was it? I think it was last week, Wednesday. And it said that on Saturday, this Saturday, it would be coming Saturday, it would be like 80 degrees. And then I checked the weather report and it had changed to be like in the 50s. And I'm like, all right, we are not liking this weather at all. But whatever God does, he does well, right? So we're gonna leave it. Um, let's see. I'm on my iPad, so it's a little tricky for me to share and be on my iPad, but let's see if I can navigate this. It says I cannot share screen while the other participant is sharing. Sister Shireen?
There's no one sharing other than, oh, you know what? I lie. Hold on. I was sharing. All good. I was sharing music. You are good to go now.
Okay. All right. Let's see how we gonna do this. All right. Canva. All right. So we are going to talk about hair, nails, and skin. All right. And at first when we're looking at it, I said, let's do something on hair. And then as Sister Shireen and I were talking, she said, why don't you just do hair, nails, and skin? Because they're all the same thing. And it's really true. They're all the same thing. So that's why we're going to do that. We said, okay, let's just do it all together. So anyway, where do we start? When we look at this world today, right, we are so focused on outward beauty. You go to social media, you go to the television, anything at all that you look at, we are so focused on social beauty. And it's not just like vanity or anything like that. We have studies upon studies that show that people who are perceived to be beautiful or handsome or more attractive are treated differently than people who are not perceived like that. When we have studies that we looked at where we put groups of people together and we have people that are perceived as being attractive or beautiful versus people that are not. And what we notice is that the people who, I'm so sorry, are you guys still seeing?
Yes, it's back now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, a phone call came in. I guess I should put it on. Let me see if I can put it on do not disturb. So, yeah, there we go. So hopefully that will stop anything from coming through. All right. So when we look at these people that are beautiful, perceived as beautiful, they were when they spoke, they were received as being more authoritative. Regardless of their qualifications, they were regarded as being more authoritative. So people paid more attention to them. If they were selling things, they could actually sell things at a higher price than someone who was not seen as beautiful, and they would get away with it. They were forgiven more. So if they accidentally did something, they would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they would be instantly forgiven. Versus someone who was not similarly perceived as being beautiful or attractive, right? So this world is focused a lot on outward beauty. And whether or not we want to admit it or whether or not we like it, we are drawn in that. They said talk about first impressions last, right? So when someone sees you, immediately they determine whether or not you're attractive or not. And then their reaction to you a lot of times is based on that. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper than this surface beauty, because what we're going to find out is that if you want to have healthy hair, the glowing skin, and the really strong nails, we're going to realize that it begins from within. And these are all things that we want to have, right? Especially as women, we want to have nice, healthy, glowing hair, nice, healthy hair, long hair, preferably, because that's our culture, where we favor long hair over short hair. We want to have glowing skin because these are all forms of beauty that people use to judge us, right? And we want to have nice, beautiful nails. First Corinthians 6:19-20 says, what, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. So we take care of this body, but it's not about the outward beauty so much. We should take care of it from the standpoint that our bodies are the temple of God. And it's interesting because just yesterday, this pastor did a sermon on this same text, and he said something that I was like, "Wow, that makes perfect sense." Because there's a verse in the Bible that says, "Our bodies are living sacrifice." So it is shaped after the Old Testament system of offering sacrifices to God. And when these animals were brought to be sacrificed to God, they had to be the best of the best. They had to be without blemish, without spot, without anything. They had to be like perfect. And so, if we're going to present our bodies to God as a living sacrifice, similarly, we should make sure they're the best that they can be. So, when it talks about seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. If you take care of your body as the temple of God, guess what? Everything else will come: the healthy hair, the glowing skin, the strong nails, because beauty comes from within. Because when we look at our nails and our skin and our hair, they're not just they are not just features that we have possessed. They are indicators. For example, our hair, it tells the state of our nutrition, it tells the state of our hormones, it tells the state of our stress level. You can get all of that from your hair. Your skin, it reflects detox, hydration, inflammation. If someone's skin is not healthy looking, it's telling me right away that they are not healthy to begin with. Something is going on inside, right? The nails reflect whether you have enough minerals, whether circulation is going on. Sister Amanda, I know, is a nurse. There are other nurses online. And if you're going in for surgery, they always tell you take off your nail polish, because they will look at your nails to see if circulation is going on, right? So if something is off externally, meaning if your hair is not doing what it's supposed to do, your skin doesn't look the way it should, your nails are not looking the way they should, that means that there is something going on. The body, that's just our body's way of telling us that there's something going on internally. Now, the hair, the nails, and the skin, they're all part of what we call the integumentary system. I knew I was going to mess that word up. But it serves as a barrier against the environmental hazards. Like your skin is the largest organ, right? So all of these, your hair that's on your head, your nails, and your skin, they serve as a barrier against environmental hazards. Just imagine what your body would be like without the skin to protect it. Just imagine what would happen to your nails if there were, to your fingers, the tip of your fingers, if there were no nails. And just what happened to your brain, your scalp, if you had no hair, right? So all of these are there to regulate or to protect us against the environmental hazards, to regulate body temperature, to enable sensory perception. If it's cold, you feel it through your skin. You can perceive it, the sense of touch, whether something is hot, whether something is cold, through your skin, right? And so these are all crucial for overall health and well-being. Another thing that your skin specifically does is that it synthesizes the vitamin D. So it actually takes the sunlight, which is why we need sunlight, right? And it takes the cholesterol that's in your body and it converts it to vitamin D. And again, we said it acts as a sensory interface for the touch, for pain, and heat. Can you imagine if you didn't have your skin with all those sensory receptors, and you could step on a nail and not realize that it is hurting, and by the time it punctures your skin, it would be too late. So your body, beautifully and wonderfully made. When we look at the hair, the three main things I want you to look at is the root, and that's a part that's embedded in the scalp where growth occurs. So where does growth occur? I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. Where does growth occur?
The root.
At the root. Thank you. And then you have the shaft. So the hair follicle, the whole follicle. Remember the Bible talks about every strand of our hair is numbered, right? So all of these are numbered, and we have the shaft, and the root is where growth actually occurs. And this is going to be important later on because we realize that we have to take care of the root and we have to take care of the shaft if we want to have healthy hair. Now, when we look at the nail, we have the nail plate, which is what we call that's what we call the nail, right? That's the part that you cut and you clip and you polish and you do all sorts of things with. The nail bed is that part underneath it, and that nourishes and supports the growing nail. And then the cuticle is at the right down here, where the nail itself meets the skin, and that actually acts as a barrier to prevent infections. Then the skin, you remember this from school, right? There are three main layers. The epidermis, which is the outside part of our skin. Then we have the dermis, which is the middle part, and it contains the blood vessels, the nerves, and the connective tissue. And then we have the hypodermis, which is the deepest layer, and that aids in the insulation and cushioning. So, when you go down there, you start seeing like the fat cells and all of that. Now, remember we said that we have the hair, the nails, and the skin is not just for looking good, right? They protect against the environmental damage and the pathogens. So we can see here the skin with all the blood vessels, the heat receptors, the sensory receptors that will respond to touch, to heat, and all of that. So it sends the signal to the brain to let you know, okay, something is hot, something is cold, it's dangerous, it's sharp, it's dull, all of those. It's smooth, it's rough. Okay, the temperature, so it's touch, temperature, pain. All right. And not only that, it also regulates temperature, right? So you have the hair, provides some sort of insulation, and like sweating, for example. So when you are very hot, your body goes, the sensory receptors go, oh, there's too much heat, we need to cool down. And then it creates sweat. So when you're sweating, that's your body's way of trying to cool you down, because when the sweat comes out, then it sits sitting on your skin surface, the air gets it, cools it, and then you get cool, you get that cooling sensation, right? And we're also going to find out that the skin actually acts as a detox unit, right? So when we look at our hair, which is like a woman's beauty, so we're obsessed with it. I think if truth be told, we probably spend the most money on our hair. whether we're washing it or styling it or treating it or conditioning it, all these things, and the wigs and the hair pieces, especially as Black women, we spend a lot of money on our hair. And so sometimes we have the issue with hair. We have alopecia, which is hair loss. We have dandruff, and we have damage caused by heat styling, right? And once we start understanding these things, then we can understand how we can make sure our hair is vibrant and healthy, and it is resilient. Because a lot of times when our hair starts breaking or falling out, it's something that we're doing. It's not just happening by chance. Remember, we said that your hair is not just a feature, it's an indicator. So when your hair starts breaking and falling out, it's an indication that something is going on. Same thing with the nails, right? We need to have nail health because it actually impacts our overall health, because we may have common issues like the fungal infections. I don't know if any of you have ever had a fungal infection, one of the hardest thing to get rid of. A lot of times you get a nail infection, you go to the doctor, they prescribe this really, really powerful antibiotic. You take it, it takes a while, the fungus goes away, and your kidney and liver are damaged because it's such a powerful antibiotic that they have to give you. So we can have the fungal infections, we can have the brittle nails, we can have like the nail being deformed, and these all affect appearance, right? But more than affecting appearance, they indicate an underlying health condition. And that is why, like sometimes when people have fungal nail fungal infections, and you put things on it and you're doing all of these things, it takes a while to go away because it's just an indication of something that is going on. And we often need to take care of that in order for the infection to go away. All right. Then when it comes onto our skin, oh my goodness, there's so many. We have acne, we have sun damage, we have dryness, we have all of the like here, this is just a chart showing some of them. We can have from bacterial infection to fungal infection, viral infection, even parasitic infection. We have allergic reactions and inflammatory reactions. All of these can show up on our skin, right? And our skin is really a powerful indicator of something going on. Even sometimes you can look at someone and you just look at their skin and you know whether or not something is going on with them, right? Have you ever had like a breakout, like your face just starts breaking out because you realize you're stressed and so you have a breakout, right? That's just, again, your skin is indicating to you that something is going on. So why are so many women struggling? Why are we all struggling, myself included, with hair issues and issues and skin issues? Some of the common issues we have: hair shedding, or the thinning edges, right? The or edges here like this starts getting thinner, or hair just shed. With our face, we may get acne. We have hyperpigmentation, so we may have like dark spots or white spots, pale spots. We can have dry skin. We can have eczema. We can have brittle or breaking nails. Just all these are just some of the issues that we face as women, right? Some of the root causes, a huge one, nutrient deficiencies, especially if you're deficient in iron, if you're deficient in zinc, if you're deficient in protein, if you're deficient in biotin. And another one that I could add, selenium. A lot of us, we don't even pay attention to that. But if you're deficient in that, then could contribute to your skin and hair and nail issues. Another thing is chronic stress, because when you are stressed, it reduces circulation, and that is why you may break out on your face or your skin. You may get boils, you may get acne, not just in your face but all over your body. and it pushes your hair into what we call the shedding phase. Because when you look at your hair, it grows through a growth shedding cycle. Your hair is not always just growing, sometimes it sheds. And that is something that it naturally does. So if you're combing your hair, you may notice that sometimes you're getting more hair coming out than other times because it's going through that shedding phase. Sometimes it goes into a resting period where no matter what you do, it's not going to grow because it's just resting. And then it has a growth phase where it will grow, right? But chronic stress, whether or not it's time for the shedding phase or not, it actually pushes your hair into the shedding phase. Another issue is, or root cause is poor gut health. This is one that we do not pay a lot of attention to, but it affects our absorption and it shows up on the skin, it shows up in the nails, it shows up in the hair. A huge one, hormonal imbalance. A lot of women will say, or many women will say, when they become menopausal, premenopausal, postmenopausal, then they start losing their hair. That's when the hair starts thinning because of this hormonal balance, whether it's thyroid issues or we're getting more stress hormones. So there's more cortisol going through our veins, and because of that, our hair, we start shedding our hair. A huge one is dehydration. And this one is very, very, very true for me. If I'm dehydrated, I guarantee you the first place it shows up, not in my skin, but in my hair. That's the first place it shows up. My hair becomes dry, it becomes brittle, it's going to break if I try to comb it. And then I'm like, okay, what is going on? I'm dehydrated. I'm not drinking enough water. So it helps with your nails because your nails can become dry and brittle and start breaking if you're dehydrated. With your hair, again, the same thing will happen with your hair. It just looks dull, it's lifeless, and it definitely shows up in your skin. Especially the nurses, you may know of like how we do the skin test. You pull the skin up and let go and see how long it takes to go back into its position, and that will tell us whether or not the person is hydrated sufficiently. So water, having enough water is a big one. Let me drink my water, right? Okay. All right. So the foundation of true beauty really lies within. One, we have three pillars of real sound beauty. Nourish the body. Nourish the body. So if you want to be beautiful, if you want to be pretty and glowing with nice hair and nails and skin, make sure you're having your dark leafy greens because they're going to supply you with the iron and the minerals that you need. Make sure you having your seeds like your flax seed, your chia seeds, your pumpkin seeds, your sunflower seeds. And make sure you're having fruits because one of the basic foundation for your hair, skin, and nails, collagen. And in order for your body to produce collagen, you need vitamin C. Your body cannot produce collagen without vitamin C. So you need your vitamin C. And of course, one of the best sources of vitamin C, your fruits. Also, you need healthy fats. Healthy fats like your avocado, not avocado oil, avocado, the fruit itself, olive oil, coconut oil. Try to stay away from like the vegetable oil and the canola oil, but stay with the healthy fats. Now, I have here, you cannot outproduct a poor diet. What that means, if you're not eating properly, you can buy all the products in the world to put in your hair. You can buy all the products in your hair to put on your skin. You can buy all the products in the world to do your nails and go to the most expensive salon. None of that is going to compensate for a poor diet. So you have to nourish the body. In addition to nourishing the body, you need to hydrate. Remember, we talked about dehydration, not having enough water can impact all three. So if you're having the water, it's going to help with the skin glow. It's going to hydrate the scalp. It's going to hydrate the nail bed. And so you're going to have healthier skin, nails, and hair. Now, the detox pathways, we have to detox our bodies through sweating. We have to sweat. Our bodies are designed to sweat. That is one of the reasons we don't recommend that people use antiperspirant. You use a deodorant, but not an antiperspirant. Because what happens? You use the antiperspirant, you stop your body from sweating. All of those toxins that your body was trying to release through your armpits now are trapped inside. You get the boils, you get the lumps in the breast, you get the cysts, which may become cancerous. You get all of these things going on because you're not allowing your body to detox. So you use a deodorant because you don't want to smell, but you want to make sure your body is sweating. Your bowel movements, make sure you're having your 2 to 3 bowel movements every day. All right, so that everything is flowing. The longer your stool stays inside your body, the more what's the word I'm looking for? Toxins are released into your colon, reabsorbed into your blood, and now you have toxins flowing through your body. It's going to show up in your skin, your hair, your nails. So you want to make sure you're having your bowel movements, make sure your kidney is functioning properly and flushing out all the toxins. And for that, you go back to water. You need water for your kidneys to be flushed properly. So one good thing you could do, well, a couple good things. Warm lemon water in the morning. And I know some of us are already doing that. First thing in the morning when you get up, you get, after you say your prayers, and of course, you get a glass, it's like 12 to 16 ounces of water. Get half a lemon or or one whole lemon, squeeze it into that warm water, not hot water, just a little warm, and drink that down. Um, Countless people have told me doing that in the morning, they have their bowel movement. And what that does is it flushes your whole system. It gives your whole system a nice detoxing flush. Not a like, it's not a deep detox, but it flushes your systems, like your liver, your kidneys, everything. Do that first thing in the morning, and then make sure you're drinking water throughout the day. Remember the formula for drinking water? Whatever your body weight is, divide that by 2, and that's the number of ounces of water you need per day. If you're not drinking that amount of water, that means you are not hydrating properly. Another way to make sure you're hydrating properly is to make sure it's mineral rich. You guys probably have heard me talk about distilling the water, and then we use the Celtic salt. We put like half a teaspoon Celtic salt to a gallon of water to make sure it's magnesium rich. Now, what magnesium does is it attracts water. I was looking to see if I have my Celtic. Oh, here. Sorry about that. So this is my Celtic salt. And if you look, I'm hoping you can see it. If you look, it's not like free flowing, it's kind of clumping up just a tad because it's rich in magnesium. And what magnesium does is it attracts water molecules. So when you take in the magnesium, it gets into your cells and it pulls the water into the cells. And so you're taking in water and it's going into your cells instead of just passing through and you're just peeing it out, right? So it should be mineral rich hydration so that the hydration is actually going into your cells. And you need fiber because fiber is going to help with that detoxing, with that cleansing that we were talking about earlier, right? If you are not going to the bathroom every day for having a bowel movement every day, it means that you are not detoxing your body like you should. It probably means that you are not getting enough water and you are not getting enough fiber. And 3, care for the scalp and the skin naturally. So, a lot of times, the chemicals are not really good for us. So the hair, you do your scalp stimulation. So you use your oils, you massage your scalp. I was washing my son's hair. I think it was Thursday night. So, I put the shampoo in, and I'm like, little boy, you need to wash your hair. And he says, I'm waiting on you. Like, you're waiting on me to wash your hair. He goes, you have to make me shampoo because my son avoids everything that I make like the plague. You'd think I'm trying to kill him, right? But I made the shampoo one day. He decided to try the shampoo because I make my own shampoo and conditioner, right? And I tried it and he fell in love with it. Now he won't use anything else to wash his hair. So he was waiting on me to wash his hair. And as I'm massaging it, he's like, Mommy, keep doing that. Don't stop. It feels so good. It feels good and it does good. It stimulates your scalp, just massaging it. As women, I know we do this a lot, especially with the braids. But avoid tight styles over time. That can cause your hair, you to get alopecia if it's not done properly. And then you can use herbal rinses to take care of your hair. Rosemary is very good. Stinging nettle, very good. Fenugreek, very good. Peppermint, ginger. All of these things are things that you can use in your hair to take care of your hair. For your skin, just do gentle cleansing. A lot of these things that we use to take showers, we don't need them. Your skin, it really doesn't need the scrub and all of that thing that we often do, especially here. We're no longer going out in the fields and working all day. So why do we need all of these harsh chemicals to scrub our skin? So it should be just something very, very gentle. Doesn't take a lot, believe it or not. And just avoid overloading products. You don't need a whole lot of different things to put on your skin. Just try to use natural oils like jojoba oil, grapeseed oil. Sometimes we can use like the castor oil if we mix it with something else because it's a very thick oil and it's very rich, so you don't need a lot of it. So it's better to mix it with another oil. And then for nails, oil or cuticles. I'm guilty with that. I don't always do that. But if you're oiling your skin, I try to remember to just massage my cuticles just a little bit. Avoid the harsh chemicals like the nail removers and the artificial nails and all of those chemicals that they use when you go to the salon to do your nails, right? And most importantly, for all three of them, support it internally. Now, when we look at stress, if there was one thing that we could get rid of out of our lives to help with all of this and other things, it's stress. Stress will cause your hair to shed. Stress will cause breakouts, and stress will cause inflammation. Good thing. Jesus says, Come unto me, all who are heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest. So just go to him, trust him, leave it all to him, and get rid of the stress because it's taking away, it's robbing us of our beauty. Prayer, make sure every day you pray. Pray to God, give it all over to him. If you don't believe in a God, speak words of affirmation and just tell yourself you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are enough. Sometimes it's just be still. Especially as women, we're always doing something. We're running off to the next thing. We have so many irons in the fire. And so, Sister Glenda, don't say anything. And so sometimes we need to just be still. I used to just love to drive, especially when it's raining. I'll just get in the car and get on the highway where there are no stoplights, no traffic, nothing, and just drive in the rain. No music playing, nothing. And in that stillness, that's when I would get rejuvenated and replenished and refreshed. And I would feel so good because I feel like nice and warm and safe in the car with all of that chaos going on outside the storm. And I would talk to God and I'd get back home and I'm good. Spend time in nature. Walk among the trees. Remember, we talked about forest bathing, all those negative ions coming off the trees, the oxygen, the clean, fresh oxygen. It will rejuvenate you. It will make your skin glow. It will make you feel better, right? Go by the ocean when you can. It's getting warm for us. I know the Floridians and all of those other people where it's warm. You can do this anytime, but just go in nature, go to the ocean and watch the surf coming in. That's very good for you as well. Something that we can all do regardless of the time, the place, is just express gratitude. We have studies upon studies upon studies that show that when you express gratitude, it actually makes you healthier. Literally, it removes the cortisol. It just fills your body with dopamine and serotonin. It helps you to sleep better. It helps you to digest your food better. One of the things that they found out with the Mediterranean diet is not just the food itself, but the social aspect of it. Because usually they're sitting around a table, they're talking with friends and family, and they're just happy and content. And that aids in digestion, right? And also it prevents overeating, right? So just always have gratitude. Make peace a part of your beauty routine. So if you want to be pretty, try to have peace. All right. So, example of a simple routine that we can all do. In the morning, you get up, you pray. If you don't believe in a God, express gratitude. You have your warm lemon water. Remember, 12 to 16 ounces of water to half a lemon, the juice of half a lemon or one whole lemon. Have your fruits. Try to have like enzyme rich foods like the papaya or the pineapple. Try to have like berries. Those are really, really good for you, right? So you have your fruits and you can have a collagen smoothie. And I know you're going to ask me what's a collagen smoothie, so I'll show it to you. And then in the evening, you can have your light dinner. You have your herbal teas. Again, we have so many herbal teas that are really good for your we mentioned some of them before, right? Like the stinging nettle. Excuse me, we talked about the rosemary, we talked about the peppermint, the ginger, all of these, the horsetail, all of these are good for your skin, for your hair, for your nails. So you can have your herbal tea, do some scalp or skincare. I like when in the evenings, like after I take my shower and I like massage my feet. They have this field called reflexology. I don't do it, but I can tell you, like in the evenings, I come out of the shower, I massage my feet. Oh my goodness, it feels so good, and it actually helps me to sleep better. So you do some scalp or skincare. I usually don't do a lot of scalp care because I'm really bad with my hair, really, really bad, but I'm working on it. And then you do your wind down for sleep. Make sure at least an hour before bed, no electronics. Make your room dark, get some fresh air in while you're sleeping, and take out no electronics, no TV, no radio, nothing. Just quiet time, wind down, and make sure you get that good night's sleep. And throughout the day, remember to hydrate. Try to eat just whole foods, no refined foods, the ultra processed foods, the sugars, and make sure you're managing your stress level. So here's a collagen builder. If you want to take a picture of it, if not, I can always give it to you later on. But this is a good collagen builder. Now, when you may see a lot of advertisements where people are advertising, here you go, let's buy collagen. It's almost impossible to buy collagen. But what you do is you buy the things that when you give it to your body will create the collagen. There is one thing that I'm missing here. I guess when I was creating the slide, I forgot what that. But sea moss. So if you do take this down, please add 2 tablespoons of sea moss to this. All right. Okay. And notice that all the seeds are raw. Seeds should not be roasted and salted and all of that. They should be had raw. And that is one of the reasons too. Some of the oils we don't use them because most of the oils that when they're heated, they actually become toxic and not good for us. So um, this is the collagen builder. Good for your hair, good for your skin, good for your nails. Remember to add the sea moss if you do copy it down. All right. And this the stinging nettle tea, when you're doing it, you're gonna make sure you brew it very strong. So usually we do like maybe a teaspoon of herb to 8 ounces of water. In this one, we may go up all the way up to a 1 tablespoon or even 2 tablespoons of stinging nettle to that 8 ounce of water because you want to make sure it's very, very strong. All right. And this, the number four is crucial. You once you make it, you drink it immediately. So you're making enough each day, you're making enough just for that day. So if I'm having this for breakfast, I get up after my water, after whatever, whenever I'm ready for breakfast, I make it, I finish it, and that's it until I want more, then I make it fresh again. The tea you can make, you can brew like a whole pot of it and not boil. Remember, with these herbs, you don't boil it, so you just make the water hot, then add the leaves and let it sit there and steep, right? We don't boil the herbs. And you can just do like a whole 32 ounce or whatever, put it in the fridge, and each day you just measure out a cup and use it. All right. So, again, some of these herbs for your hair growth, we spoke about them before: rosemary, stinging nettle, horsetail herb, fenugreek seeds, right? Fenugreek seeds, I love using fenugreek seeds, but not just because they're so good, but because I like how they smell, and fennel too. Skin glow, burdock root, dandelion, the red clover. The dandelion and the burdock are really good for detoxing, and that is why they'll make your skin glow because if you remove the toxins from your body, then your skin will glow. Then and the red clover is also good at that, and it also helps with hormonal issues. The red clover. For your nails, again, the stinging nettle, the oat straw, and the horse tail. For internal support, the herbal teas of all of these herbals we're talking about, and sea moss. Remember to add the sea moss to that smoothie protocol I showed you before. Now, with hair loss, this is something that I'm really passionate about because I suffer from hair loss. I don't know if you guys remember when I had a like right here was completely bald. And I notice even now, if I don't take care for my hair, then it starts shedding. I don't break out. I don't really have skin breakouts. I don't really have any skin issues. But if I'm deficient, if I'm stressed, if I don't sleep well, if I'm not hydrated, I see it in my hair immediately. I'm talking about like immediately. I see it in my hair. So my hair is a very good indicator to me of the state of my mental and physical health. So if you're having hair loss, it could be iron deficiency, it could be stress, it could be hormones, it could be poor circulation. So if these are the causes, you can go out there and buy all the things in the world, all the products, and put it on your hair. It's still going to keep falling out, right? Prevention, nutrition, scalp care, and stress management. And of course, you can support it with the herbal oils, the teas, hydration, rest, good nutrition, etc. All right. And just some practical tips for your hair care. Use a gentle shampoo. It doesn't take a lot. Believe me, you don't have to buy all of these expensive shampoos to wash your hair. You don't need it. It's something mild. I tell people I wash my hair most times with just molasses. Literally, just take blackstrap molasses. Well, they call it blackstrap molasses. I just use Jamaican molasses. Put it on my hair, 5 minutes, and leave it there, and then rinse it out, and my hair is washed. You don't need a lot because you don't want to be stripping it of its natural oils. Limit the heat styling tools to prevent damage and make sure you're maintaining a balanced diet, right? So it's a balanced diet, proper hydration, make sure you get enough sleep, and the stress control. Nail care, keep the nails clean, trim them, file them, preferably with like I use a glass nail file because it's very gentle on the nails. It then, it doesn't make them jaggedy and breaking all the time. Moisturize the cuticles daily and avoid nail biting, of course, right? As ladies, we don't bite our nails, right? Right?
Right.
All right. And then for
Right.
yes, for skincare, make sure you are doing your daily cleansing to remove dirt and impurities. You know, um, I cannot remember the last time I washed my face with soap. I don't use soap on my face at all. I wash my face, I get water, and I rinse off my face, and that's it. I don't use soap at all on my face because it doesn't need it. Um, I every now and again I use a scrub. I will do a scrub. Every now and again I do a molasses mask or a turmeric mask or some type of mask. Um, and that's it. I don't use soap to wash my face because we don't need it. We don't need to. And our skin, we can just use really gentle things. We don't have to use these harsh things in scrubbing or as poor skin for dear life as if we were outside farming the whole day. We're pretty much sitting around, not doing much. If we work, it's not real physical labor. We're not perspiring a lot. We're not getting dirt on us a lot. Unless you're like a mechanic or somebody like that, you don't need all of that. And the skin protection, I'm not talking about sunblock, but just making sure you're out, you're getting enough sunlight and you're doing it the right time of day, like early in the morning, towards in the afternoon, and trying to avoid the midday sun in our hemisphere. All right. And then, of course, your balanced diet, right? You're eating the whole foods, you're drinking enough water, and again, you're sleeping properly. So, if you want to be really pretty, I'm going to invite you to commit to just a 7-day challenge. Just do this for 7 days and tell me if you see a difference. Just 7 days, 1 week. Drink enough water. Remember, half of your body weight, in that's the number of ounces. Eat more whole foods, spend time with God, reduce stress, and care for your skin and scalp. Do that for 7 days and tell me if you do not see a difference. 7 days. All right. Remember, it's Proverbs 31:25. She is clothed with strength and dignity. Radiance is not something you apply. You can't buy the products. It's not something that you apply. It's something that you cultivate. And my prayer for all of us is that we will try to cultivate this radiance by taking care of inside. And once inside is taken care of, it will be reflected on the outside. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much, Sister Arlene. We have a couple of
Amen.
questions in the
Yes.
chat that I
Amen.
just want to make sure we cover. Are cuticles to be cut off?
No, definitely not. Your cuticles, you oil them, you push them back. Now we know cuticles, we don't cut them off because the cuticles are what help to prevent infection. And that is why a lot of times you go to the nail salon, they love to cut them, and you end up with a nail infection.
All right. How can we get rid of ingrown nail?
So ingrown nails a lot of times is caused by maybe you're not wearing the proper shoes, so it's being squeezed, right? So the first thing you would need to do is check the first thing is to is to check your shoes to make sure you're wearing not just the correct size but the correct fitting. Because some of us we have narrow feet, some of us we have wider feet. So just make sure your shoes are fitting properly. Also, when you go to cut your nails, make sure you're cutting them properly. So you cut them straight across so that you're not getting that
Monica,
ingrown.
how do
All
I
right. And then you take care of the nail itself. Keep it
how
nice
do
and
I get this back
soft.
over here? So when this comes, how do I get it off?
Can you stay on mute for a little bit for folks? Thank you.
Yeah. So keep them nice and soft. Keep the area around it soft. So just as how you apply oils to the cuticle on your fingers, do the same thing for your feet to keep it nice and soft.
All right. How do you distill the water again? There was another question of distilled water.
Oh, I have a distiller. It's a distiller machine. And you can do it on the stove, but it's a artist process to do it manually. But you can get a distiller machine. And you can get a distiller machine for less than $100. I think Sister Glenda, you got a good one for like 70 something dollars. And it distills the water. Don't buy distilled water, please. If you're going to use distilled water, distill it yourself because distilled water, unfortunately, is sold in plastic bottles, which makes it so dangerous. So don't buy distilled water. But you can get a machine. If you buy a distilled machine, um, you're distilling, say, a gallon of water per day. Within a month or two, you would have saved the amount of money you'd have saved from buying bottled water. You'd have covered the cost of buying the machine.
All right. What about coconut oil for the skin?
Coconut oil is good for the skin. It's one of a very good what we call penetrating oil. So it does penetrate the skin and it's healthy. You guys probably heard me say before, I don't believe you should put anything on your skin that you wouldn't normally eat. For the most part, right? So coconut oil is something you would take in. I actually advise people use coconut oil instead of all the other oils that we use. So that's something good that you can put on your skin. It's not um for some reason it doesn't work for everybody. Some people's skin, they don't like the coconut oil, but if you have the coconut oil, it works for you. It's perfect. Jojoba oil is a very good oil to use as well. You can mix it with the coconut oil if you want. You can mix the castor oil with the coconut oil if you want. All of those are good for the skin.
All right. And where do you order your collagen ingredients? Is there a specific vendor we should be looking for or site?
Um, you could get them like at a good health store. Get if you get it online, just look for really good brands like Star West Botanical. Oh, let me show you. Like this is I just got this. It's cinnamon. Because I guess you guys probably heard us talking about cinnamon yesterday, right? So you have to be careful with cinnamon you use. So this is Star West Botanical. That's a very good brand. It's reliable. That's one brand that I use for the oh Lord. For the marine phytoplankton. I use this one because marine phytoplankton is expensive. So because it's expensive, sometimes people try not to get it or try to get it cheaper, but then what you're getting is not the real thing. It's probably not the real marine phytoplankton, or it has a lot of filler. Like this one, it's been proven to be very, very reliable. Like this container is like $150, but you don't use a lot at a time. So it serves you a very, very long time. I'm talking about several months. Yeah, if you have questions about specific things, then you can let me know. The sea moss, I would suggest that you don't buy the prepared sea moss, buy the dried sea moss and then make it yourself.
All right. All right. That was the last question. I think the last comment was about the difference between having lupus and the hair loss with because that lupus has scalp inflammation. Don't know if you want to speak to that briefly or high level, but that was the last comment.
Yeah, but so lupus is like you said, it's an inflammatory disease, and then it manifests itself in the hair loss with skin issues. They may have breakouts and all of that. So of course, again, you treat it at the source, which is to get rid of the inflammation. And lupus is an illness. If you um if you reverse it, then a lot of the other issues that go along with it, of course, would go as well.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much.